I'm Renee Crank and I manage the McMinnville Farmers Market, and our market has been around since 2002, and we are located on the corner of, well, between 1st and 2nd on Cowles, as well as the parking lot behind City Hall in McMinnville. We have 65 booths and we run May through October from 12 to 6. We have pretty much every kind of vendor. We have a lot of farms, we have mushroom vendor, we have artisans and crafts people making things. Gosh, we have soaps and chocolates and lots of beautiful fruit this time of year. We have an amazing alpaca booth with lots of really wonderful things in it. The most comfortable socks ever. And we love it. It's a staple of McMinnville. Everybody comes here. We get about 2,000 people a week, so yeah. And it's every Thursday, May through October.
Welcome to the show. I'm Veronica Newberg, and you just heard Renee from the McMinnville Farmers Market. I have the pleasure of being both at the McMinnville Farmers Market and the Newberg Farmers Market, and I sell mushrooms. I enjoy getting to know the vendors, and I hope you can come out. There's people who sell fruits, vegetables, and other arts and crafts that are really creative and unique, and so I hope you can come out and see that. One of the things when I'm there at the market, and we have all kinds of mushrooms, morels and chanterelles during chanterelle season, and shiitake, maitake. Well, people ask questions such as, how do you grow shiitake mushrooms? And so this show is going to be dedicated to some of the information I get to share while I'm at the market, which is how do you grow shiitake mushrooms?
So today we're going to talk about and show a little quick video about the development and growth of shiitake that we cultivate here on our farm out here in Yamhill, Oregon. And this is one of our, what we call an incubation room. This is after they've been mixed and inoculated with the strain of shiitake that we're producing. And this room here has about 8,000 of these bags in here that are incubating. And incubating simply means that the spawn has already been put into the bag has been sealed, and now it's sitting in here in a warm climate, about 73 degrees, and is growing. And in this bag here, you can't see anything growing because it was just put in 2 days ago. So you can see hardly anything at all growing on that. You can just see kind of the wet sawdust. It's got nutrients in it in bags. And then this is one batch over here. We do a batch of 1,200. And this is another batch that we put in on the 27th of April. So that would be, what's that, about 5 days? So in 5 days, they went from not being able to see any growth at all. You can see the mycelium just starting to grow in there in the bag. And if we do a kind of a close-up of that, this one here, you might be able to see it growing a little better, kind of a close-up of that. White mycelium growing in little spots. And that's after 5 days of inoculation. And then the next stage of development is when the spawn run is completed. The spawn run is completed, the bag is all white. And that's the mycelium, or the actual organism that is growing. The mushroom is just the fruit, if you will, the fruit of the tree. The actual organism is the mycelium. In nature, it grows in trees and underground and duff and all kinds of things. And what we do is we take the sawdust and sterilize it and inoculate it, and it grows, and then it colonizes it and it becomes all white. And this is a batch that was put in on the 18th of April. So here we had the 2nd of May, the 27th of April, and so what is this, 9 days longer, or this is only 9 days older than that. So that's how fast they colonize the bag and grow through the bag. The next thing that we do, it's over here. So we'll go over here and you can do that, is they begin to brown. Now these ones aren't just beginning to brown. They have already fully browned, where they have really colonized this thing and knitted together, so to speak, the sawdust and the nutrients, and we put the right amount of water in there, and it makes its own skin. So this goes from a bag of sawdust to now a solid unit knitted together by the mycelium, and then it develops this juice. We like to see this liquid right here. That's telling us it's in the final stages of growth. And this one was put in on the 9th, March 9th, this batch. And so what is today? Today would be the 5th? 4th. Today's the 4th. So this here is at about 7 weeks, 7.5, 8 weeks. So we go from a bag of sawdust to a bag that could be pulled right now and put into our fruiting rooms, which we'll show you in a minute, where they come out of the bag and they go into a room to actually grow the mushrooms out of that block. So there we are in our incubation room. That's those stages, and the next stage is going to be our fruiting room, and we'll show you that next. Hi, this is Bob with Whole Earth Harvest. We have now moved into our fruiting rooms, where we last time showed you in the incubation room the process of the shiitake mycelium growing through the sawdust and beginning the colonization, and finally completely colonized the block. It binds together all of the nutrients and the sawdust that we use, and forms its own unified block that's all knitted together by the mycelium itself. I'll even show you what it looks like on the inside. We can break open a block here, and you can see the inside has a heavy layer of the mycelium on the outside, and it's all throughout. Now I'll put this back together and stand it up, and it'll actually grow back together. It will grow itself back together, and I'll put it here in such a way that that happens. Last time I didn't need to wear the gloves and the hairnet because we are in an area where the mushrooms are not actually fruiting yet. This is what we call our fruiting room, and this is the very beginning stages of the mushrooms fruiting from the blocks. And these, what you see on these blocks here, are known as pins. We call them pins. And so the block begins to pin, and there's some little ones that are still starting, growing around here. They start out as like a little bump with a little black dot, and they grow larger and larger all the way around on the block. And these will all turn into mushrooms. They pin and start growing. And the mycelium primordia that's growing underneath just forms, and then it puts out mushroom pins. We set this room temperature colder, and we have it very moist in here. It's not dry and warm. It's moist and cooler, more in the mid-60s range is where we like to run that. We get up into the upper 60s as well. So if you're growing stuff at home, a cooler area in your home, let's say you know, by the floor or near a cool room or a basement, a garage, anything like that also helps to keep them cooler. But they don't need to be. They'll grow just fine at 70 degrees. In any event, these are the pins growing on the blocks, and we like to see somewhere in the neighborhood of about 30 to give us the right quantity of mushrooms, the right size of the mushrooms. And we have in this room a little over 5,000 of these blocks growing per week. So we do quite a volume for the commercial business as well. And with that, we're going to then move to the next fruiting room where the mushrooms are more developed. And for that matter, we've even been harvesting, and a lot of the mushrooms are already harvested. So we'll move over there. Until we get to that room, farewell. So here we are in the fruiting room that has been in here. These blocks have been in here a week longer than the room we were just at. So as I was mentioning over there, a lot of these mushroom blocks have already been harvested. partially harvested. We harvest over a period of about a week from the time we first start to harvest, and then it's about a week till we finished harvesting everything in the room approximately. There's some stragglers that come along after that, but for the most part it's about a week. And what we have here are mushroom blocks that some, like I say, have already been harvested. Here's one that's basically been completely, it was a fast block, it fruited very quickly. Every one of these spots here that you see was a mushroom that was harvested, all cut off. We cut them with a very sharp knife into our baskets. We wear gloves, like I said, and hair nets to keep from anything getting contaminated into the food. Everything else here is all natural, organic. So here we have a block that has good development of mushrooms pretty much all the way around. There's some more pins still coming, and there's varying sizes to those. And what we do is we let them grow. This room was harvested this morning, so there's not very much that are developed enough to harvest right now. We usually harvest about once a day. If it gets a little warmer in here, we might have to harvest twice a day. They grow really fast. An example of what we harvest would be, we're looking for the mushrooms to open up on the bottom like this. So here would be a perfect shaped mushroom on the top that's nice and round. You can see it's already opening and the veil is opened, and there's this nice feathered look. That feathering, some people have asked, how do we get rid of that? Well, you don't want to. That means that you get the very highest, freshest quality. That's a really good quality shiitake when it has that feathered look to the outside of it. You don't see them that way in the stores very often. They get handled a lot. But that's a thing. If you're harvesting at home, you are going to want to look for them to be like this. Some people let them open up a lot more. Sometimes they'll shoot their spores out, and then you have this white spore dust to deal with. So we like to harvest them like this. It also gives them better shelf life. They're not going to gain that much more weight when they completely open up. I think the flavor quality and all the nutrients are best with everything in it. So we try to cut these ones out. You can take scissors or a knife and just nip out the one that's ready, leave the other ones behind, and then set it back in your grow kit if you're doing a grow kit, or in our case, just back on the racks. We have another block that has got a couple that are ready, and all these other ones that have been harvested. And we put them in the room for fruiting, and from the time we put them in, open them out of the bags and put them in the room till they are, the pins are showing, which is what you saw in the other room we were just at. It's about a week, I think it is. No, that's less than a week. We put those in on a Friday, so this is Wednesday. It's been 5 days. So we went from taking it out of the bag with nothing on it to those pins in 5 days, and this is another 7 days after that. And what will happen is we change the temperatures up and down in this room. There'll be mushrooms after mushrooms. A block that doesn't have a whole lot on it here, but nice, really big, beautiful mushrooms, later on will produce more and more and more mushrooms over the next 10 days or so. So we fruit in here for about 3 weeks, and that's when they're finished fruiting. And then at that point, you can rehydrate those blocks, let them rest a little bit, put some water on them, soak them, and rehydrate them and get them to fruit again. We use most of these blocks, about half of them, we regrind it back into our mix, which adds nutrients and moistures and some other things like that there. But we wanted to show you the mushrooms growing right out of the blocks, just like you would get in a grow kit at home. And we just wanted to give you an idea what that looks like on a large commercial scale. So there you go, Whole Earth Harvest Shiitake Growing Room. Thank you very much.
Every life is precious and every life has purpose. If you've ever felt powerless to make a difference for the cause of life, we invite you to make your voice heard by supporting this thriving community service. We're making an even greater impact for the sanctity of human life with the addition of ultrasound services.
At the Salem Pregnancy Resource Center, lives are being impacted and you can play a part. Let your voice be heard for those who are yet to be born.
Learn more at salemprc.org or call 364-2543.
In my line of work, I need to be able to replace a part quickly. At Davidson Auto, the selection is great. They carry a large variety of automotive supplies, welding equipment, and a huge selection of tools. They have everything I need, and if they don't have it, they get it here quick.
Okay, you just watched Bob Newfer talk about how to grow shiitake mushrooms. And of course, after we're done growing them, we harvest them, and then we sell them to our customers. Who are our customers? A lot of people ask. They're wholesale customers all around the country, United States. We even sell to Canada, Hawaii, and sometimes internationally. They go to New York and then beyond. But we also sell locally to grocery chains and usually health grocery chains and restaurants. One of our customers you're going to be watching a video of, and that is Tina's Restaurant in Dundee. So we have other restaurants around the area, and so you never know if you go there. I would recommend, personally, mushrooms are great, they're good for you. I'd recommend, you find a dish that does have mushrooms on it and try those. You'll probably really enjoy it if you're somebody who likes mushrooms. But anyway, without further ado, here's Tina's Restaurant, and after that, I'll be showing you a clip at the Newberg Farmers Market making up one of my favorite recipes. Okay, I'm at the farmer's market here in Newberg, and we are displaying our mushrooms. And another thing we're displaying is sea beans. Sea beans grow in the bay on the Oregon coast and a lot of areas too, in other states. But this recipe is called Sea Bean Shiitake Delight, and it's a great recipe for a garnish to put over steaks, just a side garnish, something to put over potatoes, rice, pastas. It's awesome. So anyway, there's a recipe here. And we started the pan, so I'm going to throw some oil in it and we'll talk a little bit more about the recipe. So it's a good idea to have lemon oil, but if you don't have lemon oil, some olive oil, a couple tablespoons. And make sure you have plenty of lemon though, because the lemon is really what gives it the good flavor. I might add some more, but for now I'm just going to put in the 4 ounces of sea beans. That's a 1/4 pound of sea beans. And there's a lot of smoke there. It's a little easier to cook in the pan at home, but this definitely works too. Just a little smoky. Okay. I think I'm going to probably put some more oil in there. We're going to see how that is, but we'll go according to smell and taste. All right, another thing that we do is we throw in a half a pound of shiitake mushroom. This is a 1/4 pound per clamshell. So of course, 1/4 pound times 2 is a half a pound. So now you have a 1/4 pound of sea bean, half a pound of shiitake. There's a little wind here, so I'm going to adjust the tablecloth so we don't wind up with a fire. I hope that helps. Good. We lost the shiitake. That's okay. We still got plenty left in here. Okay, we're going to cook this pretty good. And one of the things we're going to do is add some garlic. According to this recipe, we need 2 tablespoons of garlic, minced garlic. And what I do is I just like to estimate, so I'm going to throw in 2 heaping teaspoons, I think maybe even a little more. So we'll go with that for now. So basically 2 tablespoons of garlic and a 1/4 teaspoon, oh, okay, maybe a full teaspoon of pepper. This recipe's been improvised a little bit according to the person who types it. I think I started with a little more pepper and then they took the pepper away. So when you make this recipe, you might decide it's a little too spicy or a little bit less spicy. So the timing and the length of time you cook this is pertinent because you have to cook the sea beans down all the way where it's crispy, but it's not like so, you know, extremely soggy. Okay, it's still pretty dry, so I'm going to throw in some more oil. And that's a lot of oil, so I'm definitely going to throw in a lot of lemon. That looks a lot better, a lot wetter. And again, it's going to be done when the mushrooms are not only cooked through, but the sea beans, it's really important to see that the sea beans are going to kind of have like a, almost like a crispy French fry on the outside, but very well cooked on the inside. And then, again, it's ready to use as just a side dish, almost like a spinach kind of side dish. Or you can put it over your steak, or you can put it over your potatoes. And this is almost like a potato chip. It kind of has that addicting, salty flavor, but sea salt's better for you than regular salt. Matter of fact, I've heard it's actually really good for you to have sea salt. But you can check with your doctor about that. But it's definitely an easy dish that once you start eating the sea beans, you almost want to keep eating it and eating it. So I'd make plenty. Make sure there's plenty to put on your plate. Oh, it's great over fish. Very good over fish if you're a seafood eater. I made this recipe. I gave this recipe to a wedding party who they were making salmon as their main dish, and it was a big hit. Okay, again, that's Sea Bean Shiitake Delight. You can visit us on our website, wholeearthharvest.com. We are also Misty Mountain Mushroom, and we still are. We're kind of in transition because we sell mushrooms, but we're also trying to expand for food from many areas on the earth, Whole Earth Harvest. You know, that's the name. So I hope you enjoy it. Okay, you just watched some great recipes ideas at Tina's restaurant. She's cooking a delicious recipe, shiitake, maitake, truffle, and they have other recipes there too. And at the farmer's market, sea bean and shiitake, sea bean shiitake delight. And there's a lot of other great recipes, a lot of other great mushrooms. We carry the sea beans at the markets. We carry morels, chanterelle season, porcini, maitake, hanji, king oyster, and there's plenty of other things. And so I hope you can come check our market, our booth out, say hi to us. And also, there's so many other booths there too. Again, fresh fruits, fresh vegetables. There's live music there. There's a lot of arts and crafts, and so many fun things you can do there. You know, the nice weather, the kids enjoy just kind of running around and looking too. So come and see us at the Newberg Farmers Market on Wednesdays, right across the street from the library, and the McMinnville Farmers Market on Thursdays between 1st and 2nd Street. See you there. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.
After 29 years of house cleaning experience, I use all non-toxic products, and I'm here to serve you and all your cleaning needs. Call me for a free quote.
Hi, I'm Susan Dawson, and I want to invite you to come to the Yamhill County Republican Women Club. Get involved, get informed, and make a difference in your community.
Colloidal silver is proven to kill all viruses, bacteria, and fungus. Although not approved by the FDA, I was so impressed with the results, I decided to offer it to you. Testimonies include benefit from a variety of infections, diseases, and sicknesses inside and outside the body.